Alright, let's do this. So I've just returned home from the cinema. Today is the first day in Russia when How to Train Your Dragon 3, The Hidden World, is up in the cinemas. As a true fan, I went there and have seen it, and when I came home I realized that no matter what, even though I haven't been making videos for
Yes, Stasya, for 1.5 years. For 1.5 years.
a lot of time, I just need to sit down and just to talk about this. You know, from the time I've been gone, I discovered a lot of things. For example, that I don't need to put a lot of effort and stuff to make it done. Right now I'm just sitting in my kitchen with no special lighting, completely not caring about my background and borrowing my mom's camera, and I cannot see what's happening on the screen. But I don't care! So I actually think my discussion will be pretty general, but there may be some spoilers. I'm not sure how the conversation will go.
Turned out I went through the whole film with details, so yes, it is a massive spoiler alert.
I enjoyed the movie pretty much. I think it was a great combination of the action and comedy, because I think this one, comparing to other two films, was a lot more comedian. We laughed the whole time through. You know, it was not unnecessary humor, it all was in the mood. Actually, I do believe that this one is more related to the series. Maybe that's because I've seen a lot of series. I see now those interactions in the real movie, but in the first, obviously in the first one, but in the second part, which is also taking part after the Race to the Edge, I still don't see so many interactions of Race to the Edge in the film, and this one is that's our gang, that's our children, yes, I recognize them, I love them, I know them. I think this movie was also paying a little bit more attention on fishlegs, rough, tough, snot loud. It still was not a complete going into their personalities, but at least we see them more on the screen and see them performing in some way and see the jokes we've seen in Race to the Edge. You know, when the first scene started, I was like, whoa, this is the serious movie. By the way, animation is just great. DreamWorks team is just the best. I love them so much. They did such an amazing job. When it started, okay, probably this movie is gonna be pretty dark, and it's the third part, it's gonna be more serious. But just when the gang arrived, I was like, okay, it's the same people we know, it's the same people we love, it's still How to Train Your Dragon, it's still hilarious, it's still a little bit childish, but not in a bad way. The funniest scene in the whole movie was Ravna's scene. She nailed it. The crowd was laughing out loud, and I laughed so hard I couldn't get over it. It just, it was pretty amazing. Let's be honest. And let's touch on the Hick Street part. I think this movie had the biggest amount of Hick Street amongst the other films, and we had an adorable scene with a cuddling, and it was just amazing. They're so cute. Also, let's discuss the main villain. Unfortunately, I just forgot how his name is. I have a very controversial feelings about him, because in the beginning of the movie he felt really, really terrifying. I also think he did a lot of dumb stuff. Everything he wanted is to kill a Night Fury, and he had plenty of time to do that, but he did not. Why? I think it was probably the plot prolonging move, but it felt strange. It's actually one of the things I did not about this movie. Gobber and those little dragons were hilarious, also 10 out of 10. The Hidden World is the prettiest thing in the world. Again, the crew did a great job. The Light Fury is also very cute, and the way she interacted with Toothless, I also enjoyed even maybe more than I thought I would. I'm a lot more impressed by the movie itself than by the trailer. Probably it was because they made the first trailer when they did not have a lot of finished material yet, but they included the scenes which had the less visual interest, and it felt very simplified. The character design is also one of the things I wanted to discuss. The generals were amazingly created, and the main villain, what is his name? He also had an amazing outfit. Before the movie, I've seen a lot of opinions that he is not appearing scary enough, but for me, his eyes are pretty dramatic because they're so maybe a little bit even unnaturally wide. I also discovered that the angle makes a lot of difference, and the way you present the character makes a huge difference in a film, because, like, as I said in the beginning, he was hella terrifying. When it comes to the actual characters, I don't really like the design of Tough and maybe Rough. Not wild sometimes. Astrid's outfit was great. Hiccup's outfit was like a usual Hiccup's outfit. He usually has an outfit like that, so like nothing special. Wings were pretty great. I wanted to touch upon outer appearance of the world. Here I have no complaints, except sometimes scenes looked a little bit off when it came to some cliffs and the ground beneath it. It felt a little bit unnatural that you cannot see anything except clouds. Maybe it's just my issue. Tell me in the comments if it's just my issue or not. I cannot say that I liked everything in this film, because that would be a lie. There were some parts I was confused about. First of them are not allowed flirting with Valka. It's kind of wrong story. The second issue was in the ending. It's also not true that I did not like the ending. It happens a lot of times when kids are firstly introduced in the end of the whole series, just to show the public that everything ended up great and they had kids and lived happily ever after. It happens quite a lot. I think what can be very dangerous to the scenes is that nobody wants to create a great design for those kids because they appear only like a minute on a screen. They usually create kids like the hybrid of their parents. It just looks unnatural. That's what I thought happened in the ending. That's why I did not really like it. Also, sometimes it felt a little bit wrong for me how Valka pushed Astrid to encourage Hiccup. Felt unnatural. Don't know why. Not a great problem, but I think it's everything. And we're moving on to the last thing I wanted to discuss. Things that made me cry. It was the second flashback because of this vulnerability of Stoic and this small hiccup, and the whole scene. Everything was very touchy, and I've cried through the whole ending. Probably not even because of the ending. I was not as sad that Hiccup is leaving and they're apart, because actually they're pretty close by, and the final scene, I guess, shows that they see each other like in a while. Maybe it's not their first meetup. Maybe they've seen each other before, and I don't see it as a sad ending, but I see it as an ending of a series. When the first movie came out, I was 10. I did not pay a lot of attention to it. I really liked it, but I had no idea how much this series will be meaning to me, because as I was growing up, How to Train Your Dragon fandom and the series itself became my safe place when I really felt alone and misunderstood. My mom used to give me an example of Hiccup, like he also was loved and he also was misunderstood, but everything ended up great. It gave me a lot of strength in like everything. It taught me a lot. Every time I listen to How to Train Your Dragon music, I cry. I literally cry, I don't know why. This whole ending was meaning the end of my childhood, and it's not a sad story. I may be wrong, but I feel that something has shifted. It was 2010, I was 10, now it's 2019, I'm 19, and this chapter of my story is closed. It's not a sad ending, also as the ending of Hiccup and Toothless. It's not a sad ending. It's the new beginning for me. It means that I just need to find another story. The story I could relate even more right now. And maybe the story will be created by me and by my expression of the world. I'm really grateful for everybody who played some parts in the series, because it encouraged me to start my own journey. As Hiccup now should find his way to live without Toothless, I also need to find a way to live without the story. And it's a little bit sad, but beautiful at the same time. And I am maybe more grateful right now for everything that whenever in my life. I think I'm going to round up because the pack is on my nose. Started crying. I actually have no issues with crying on camera. I don't think it's dramatic, and don't tell me that it's dramatic, because it's feelings, and I think it's important to express our feelings. So I would like to hear your opinion, my fellow dragon lovers, how to join the dragon fandom. So write me in the comments everything you think, and yeah, see you sometimes in the future. Never stop dreaming. Bye guys.